everybody, here we are again, and it's a Mangrove Jack's Craft Series Hell's Lager. Here to talk about it. It's one of the Kit and Kilo pouch in a pouch in a pouch. It comes in an outer pouch. Why not stick the two pouches in the outer pouch? Surely that would be cheaper. I've cut. Not going to start ranting. I've cut a bit off. That went on the fermenter. Stuck on the barrel, so I know what's in there. As I say, it's one of these ridiculous pouch in a pouch. So you have a pouch with the malt in, and then another pocket of the pouch. So you've got the main pouch, pocket in the pouch that contains the rest of the stuff, important stuff like yeast, and you're going to stick that in hot water to soften it. So in the outer pouch, we'll discard the outer pouch. In the inner outer pouch, instructions. Didn't even look at them. It came with 20 grams of hot pellets that I've used. Smell hoppy still. It didn't come with the SO4 yeast. I didn't reuse my SO4 yeast. I decided to bin it off. It was starting to slump. So, rather than risk it, I binned it off. New packet of SO4 yeast. So, technically, it's about £2.50 more expensive. But I reused my yeast, so I don't count it. It did come, which is probably knackered because it's been in hot water. I mean, our water from the hot tap is probably about 60 degrees C. You can just about, you can't really, you can't keep your hands under it, so it's certainly hotter than 40, which is uncomfortable. Or 50, which is very uncomfortable. Mangrove Jack's Californian Lager Yeast, M54. California common and any lager fermented at ambient ale temperatures, which is what it's suitable for. A unique lager yeast that has the ability to ferment at ale temperatures without the associated off flavours. Extended lagering periods are also not required. Using ale yeast. Net weight, 10 grams. 10 grams of yeast. We'll go to the facts and figures. I actually sterilised the equipment, just in case, because as I say, the previous batch of yeast, it hadn't set hard on the bottom. Settled. It slumped as I was transferring. It slumped. So I thought I'll bin it off, sterilise the bucket, new yeast. Starting gravity 1.046 at 17 degrees C. Dry hopped it. It just says 20 grams of yeast, hot pellets. But I did look and look outside of the patch. 10 grams of Wakatu and 10 grams of Pacific Gem. There's some tasting notes. We might have a look at them in a bit. Final gravity was 1.014 at 17 degrees C. Same temperature, no need to mess with the figures. So it came out at still an approximate ABV of 4.347826 alcohol by volume. Cost of the kit was £23.95. I added a kilo of standard table sugar, about £1. So cost per pint, 62.375. Right, that's facts. That's figures done with. Facts and figures. Yeah. Let's have a look at it. Polish clear. Is it? I think it's certainly crystal clear. Knocking on polish clear. It's a light pale gold straw colour. Flashy with the torch. As you can see, you can get ahead. I was faffing about a bit, but it drops off quite quickly. Doesn't even really end up with a ring. Let's go in to the aroma. Light malty notes, that's about it. A slight fruity note, which I'm suspecting is apple, but it's a vague fruity note. You're getting mostly on the nose, it's mostly a pale note and a hint of a fruit. In for the taste. There's a maltiness, but it's a light maltiness. It's like pale malt sort of flavour. There is a slight biscuity note as well. And then there's a bitterness that kicks in towards the end. A dry finish, but up front there is also a slight apple note. Now it was suggested, and it's probably quite a good suggestion is this, on the paler beers I do seem to get this, it's only a subtle apple note, but I do get, it's a fruity appleness. It could be the fact that I'm using SO4 yeast. It's not designed for lagers. It could also be due, now this was the suggestion, and I'm going with this one, that I'm using standard table sugar. Because standard table sugar is made of fructose and dextrose. The yeast splits it, then uses both parts. Fructose is a fruit sugar. Perhaps the apple notes, if there's a darker beer, if there's more flavours in it, don't notice it. But pale, lagery type beer, I'm often getting this slight apple flavour. So what I'm going to do, I've ordered another one, and I'm going to brew it with a huge stockpile, not all of it, just a kilo, of dextrose, brewing sugar. Because other people have pointed out, or asked the question of, what do you do with all this stuff that you don't use in the all malt kits, or the kits that supply extra brewing sugar? Stockpile it. is the plain answer. But I'm going to try it and see, does it make a difference? Brew it again. Same way. I may. Should I start again with the yeast? No, don't think so. I'll reuse my yeast as usual. I didn't on this one, but we'll try it because I've reused my yeast before. I've had this in a light beer and I've had this slight apple flavour. So it'll either be fresh yeast or reused yeast, don't care, but I'm going to use brown sugar and brew it a second time and see if it gets rid of the apple flavour. You'll then know that table sugar could potentially, so far, produce a slight, and it's only slight, about there. So up front, there's a slight apple flavour just after you've swallowed the first mouthful. There's a slight apple flavour, but it dies off quite quickly. There. Gone. So it is only a subtle apple flavour, but it is there. As I say, it's quite a nice bittering. It's not a bad beer. Not really to my liking. I prefer a darker beer. Probably that's why I've never noticed the fact that standard table sugar gives you this slight apple flavour. One for a future video, so keep your eyes open. It'll still be a Hell's review, but I might add to it something like table sugar or dextrose, the result. Enough waffling. That'll do. Right, like, comment, subscribe. See you next time. Cheers. Bye.